Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the series of videos where we are going to discuss each genre in detail. The very first genre we are going to talk about is speech writing. We will discuss the format and structure of speech writing in this regard. In our previous videos, we have already learnt about purpose, audience and tone, looking for the facts through discursive writing, arranging these facts to form an argument with the help of an argumentative essay, and finally to persuade. When you come to the persuasive part, genre related techniques come into play. We will discuss each step in detail and I will employ new examples along with the previous examples of speech writing which I have used in video number 3. Now coming to the very first step, which is format of speech writing. It is highly simple. The format of speech writing is simply that you open with speech marks, either double or single, both are fine. Then you end them with the help of the same. I'm not going to spend more time on this as we have to move forward to the structure of speech writing. This includes greeting, introduction, stating the purpose, body paragraphs using persuasive devices, and concluding paragraph. It means 5 points. We will discuss each point in detail. Here comes the greeting. It is very important to identify whether your greeting should be formal or informal, as greeting sets a tone for communication and different audience have different expectations just like due to the level of formality. A greeting that works in one context must come across as inappropriate or ineffective in another. Let's read the example. There are two examples. One is formal and other is informal. This is a formal example. Imagine you are the parent of a student who attends a school that is considering a study exchange program. Write a speech to give at a meeting of parents and teachers. It means that the audience is formal. So your speech, the tone will be formal, and hence the greeting which is used in this regard should be highly formal. The next question says, write a speech to give an audience of young people. It means that this is an informal speech, so the greetings will also be informal. Now, let's look at the next point, that is introduction. Introduction is a very important aspect. It is highly important to introduce yourself. And if it is a formal speech, the people sitting right in front of you, listening to you, may not understand if you do not introduce to them who you are or which office do you hold. For example, a new parent just attending the orientation session at a school may not know if whether a teacher is standing in front of him or a principal who is addressing them. So it is very important that you should identify yourself who you are. Let me read this. A greeting should be followed by a brief introduction. For example, my name is Sarah and I am representing my class. I am a student of O level and my name is Awab. I am speaking on behalf of my staff members and I hereby speak on behalf of my residential community. It means that you fully tell who you are and why you are standing over there. I'm going to read an example in this regard. Imagine you are a pupil in school which does not have a school council. Write a speech to be given in a school assembly, giving your views on whether or not students should participate in decisions made by the school. Here is the opening of that. I have written it for you. Good morning, respected teachers and fellow students. My name is Sarah, and I am a student of grade 9. I have fully introduced myself. I have used the greeting appropriately because the speech is directed toward the school community. So I have involved both the teachers and the students, and the tone is highly formal because it is to be given at a school assembly. Assembly is a formal event, so formal tone along with the formal greeting and the formal introduction has been used over here. I stand before you today to discuss address an important matter that concerns us all, whether or not people should be given the opportunity to contribute to the decisions that shape up our school community. Now, we don't need to read the rest because we are done with the introduction. Then comes the purpose. Purpose is a very, very important factor. You need to identify the verb while analyzing the question. We have talked about the purpose in detail in, I think, in video number 2, but over here I must tell you that you need to identify the verb. What are you going to do in the in the speech? Because the verbs often reveal the purpose. They show the kind of action or intention being expressed, such as your intention may be to inform. I'm going to read the example in this regard. You are a travel blogger and a guide. Write a speech for young people, advising them what they need to consider when deciding on a holiday destination. This is to inform. And again, you may be writing for to persuade. Imagine that schools in your area are considering either introducing or abandoning handwriting for all younger students. This is to persuade. You have been invited to speak at a meeting, a meeting of teachers and parents to discuss the idea. You are going to discuss and persuade whether they should keep the handwriting lessons or they should abandon them. And it is a very important factor which we have already discussed in detail how to identify the purpose in our previous video. But just to brush it up, here are some examples that you must proceed by informing the audience about the purpose of the speech. What is the speech about? For example, it can be, I'm here with you to discuss, inform, share, ask your views. These are all verbs. You need to use a verb very carefully, because the right use of verb may promote the good, may be able to dilate the topic more effectively to the audience. It's not rather a matter of may, rather it will dilate the topic in detail or the purpose in detail to the audience. Or you can say about the rising rates of the edible at your school canteen. I would will like to talk about increasing issue on misconduct of my fellow peers on the campus, etc. Now, if you look at it, the policy aims to reduce pollution. This is to promote or to encourage. And then this study investigates the impact of climate change. The verb investigates tells us the purpose of the study, which is definitely to analyze, compare, and to evaluate. Next comes a very important device, which is fillers and ellipses. But let me tell you one thing, the overuse of it is not allowed. These do actually show the way something is spoken, because speeches should be written in a way as it must be spoken, and the use of ellipses and fillers give the speech a realistic flavor. I'm going to read it out to you. In an informal speech, the candidate can use ellipses or fillers to give it a realistic flavor. For example, good morning, friends. My name is Sarah. This is not, by the way, repetition of S is deliberate, because the repetition of the letter S highlights the stress given by the speaker. And the speech begins with a another technique that shows whether the speaker is hesitant or either preparing himself to begin his speech. This is a very important device, but I'm telling you that you need to use it sparingly. By the way, this is the 3 dots are ellipses. Do not use 4 dots, because if you put a four dot, it should show the conclusion of a thought pattern over here. But good morning, friends, and 3 dots is stands for ellipsis. That shows that the thought is continuing. It may have broken for a while because you are taking time to think, probably, or to gather your words, and the repetition of S shows your anxiety. I'm going to show you an example in this regard. Imagine you're a pupil in school which does not have a school council. Write a speech to be given to your class. It means that the audience over here is informal. So ellipses and fillers are mostly used in informal speeches. It's very important that your speech must have at least twice, not at least, rather at the most, 2 ellipses, or not more than 3 fillers. Overuse of it is also going to kind of tell the examiner that you are using it artificially. You are using it just to, not as a tool, but to just show off that you know about this technique. Hi everyone. Then there is ellipsis, because that shows your pause. I hope you are doing well today. So I just wanted to talk about something that really involves all of us. This really shows that you are hesitant, and shows that this is an informal speech. Right now, we don't get a say in the decisions made by our schools. Then again, there is ellipsis. I have used it thrice. The ellipses have been used thrice, but not the fillers. So if you have used the ellipsis thrice in the opening, don't try to use it later on in the speech. Okay, Ji. Next is a very, very, very important device that is a must for persuasive writing. That is called inclusive pronoun. Use inclusive pronoun like we, us, ours, ourselves to evoke a sense of commonality and rapport between a speaker and a writer and his or her audience. You must have watched, by the way, animated movie Dora the Explorer, where she makes children sitting in front of television. By the way, she is she's an animated character, and there is nobody sitting in front of her. Where are the children sitting? They are sitting in front of the television, and they respond to the simple instructions given by her. How does she achieve that? Of course, with the help of inclusive pronoun, such as she may say, "You sitting in that corner, get up and clap your hands." The inclusive pronoun you and your does the magic, and the child quickly gets up, considering himself part of the animation, thus performing the action. Thus, the use of inclusive pronoun helps to promote respect and clarity while building trust and, of course, credibility. This linguistic strategy helps to promote rapport and solidarity between the speaker or the writer and between the audience. Remember, you have to write as if you are speaking to your audience at present. Hence, whatever you write must show as if you are in front of your audience, fully aware that the speech writing differs from other forms of written genres in this respect. Another important device is the rhetorical question. A rhetorical question basically helps to speak directly to the audience. It sows the seed of thought in the mind of the reader. It allows a reader or the audience a moment to pause and think about the question. A speech must have rhetorical question, those questions that do not make your audience that do not make your audience think hard about something, to show that the speaker is rather they are used to show that the speaker is an immediate interaction with his audience. And I'm going to give an example which I have basically taken from my previous video number 3. But here is the question: can we really equate sitting for hours on a chair with the physical rigor of running, jumping, or sweating it out on the field? Schools are entrusted with our health, our growth, our well being. How does promoting a sedentary lifestyle fits into that responsibility? Over here, I'm simply making the audience think, making the reader think. So there's another example. I hope you understand what I mean. I hope you're all doing well. Other examples of the like rhetorical question is a must, by the way. Then comes contractions and mark of exclamation. As the use of emotions, by the way, goes side by side with the speech. So the use of exclamation mark is a must, by the way, because it shows that there are strong feelings associated with that, or you are emphasizing some word. And again, contraction, they build a sense of conversational tone, as in everyday life we tend to contract the words rather than using them fully. For example, I'm here instead of I am here. So try to use the writing as if you are speaking. This is the genre where you write as you speak. And finally comes a conclusion. I'm going to hurry it up because there's a lot of time spent on the previous persuasive devices. So end your speech by thanking your audience for listening to you. Thank you all for being with me today. In an informal speech, you could add a joke stating how the audience had put up with you for so long. I'm going to give you an example. With these words, I conclude: esports, though fascinating, must not be a part of our school curriculum. Let us play games in our free times, but let's live our education in real time. Thank you for listening. You may also end with asking them to present their queries on the matter. For example, would you like to ask some questions? I would appreciate to have a question answer session with you all. In the end, simply thank you and good evening, thank you and see you all again would be correct. So I'm going to sum up the format and structure of speech writing. First is the use of speech mark. You can use either double or single. Greeting is very important. Greeting should be done according to the type. If it is formal, go for formal greeting. If it is an informal speech, go for an informal greeting. Greeting should be according to the audience. Introduction is very important. You need to introduce yourself, because if you do not, the audience will not understand who you are. If you are technical, if you are a tech expert and you are speaking to an audience of young people, giving them advice about the use of technology, then your introduction is going to add weight, by the way, to what you are going to speak ahead. Then stating the purpose, identify the verb, because this is very important that with the with the help of the verb, you are going to dilate the purpose more effectively in the mind of the reader. Body paragraphs using persuasive devices like ellipses and fillers, contractions, use of rhetorical questions, and inclusive pronouns. It is a very important technique. You must use all these persuasive devices in order to write the speech effectively. And finally, the concluding paragraph. Concluding paragraph should include that you thank your audience for being with you. And now I'm going to end my speech, by the way, and I would like to thank you that you have been with me for this video, and I hope that you have enjoyed with this enjoyed it and learned from it. Thank you for listening to me.